you've gotten a bumper crop of zucchini, or you've gone to the farmer's market and zucchini is dirt cheap and you've just got to buy it. Who doesn't want a new recipe for their zucchini? And today I'm making one from southern Italy. It's called Zucchini Casserole al forno. So it's a baked zucchini casserole. It's layers of sauteed zucchini and tomato sauce with some basil, and it has a very special topping that might surprise you. I hope you get to make this summer or any time of the year. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe to my channel yet, please do, I would love that. Have a great day, and ciao. I'm seeing that my onions are turning into sort of a light golden. I don't want to get them too dark, but this also adds beautiful flavor. And so many people are scared that they're burning things when they're actually just browning them lightly and they're adding some nice flavor. I'm going to take them out now because I need this room in this pan for my zucchini strips. Try and save as much of that olive oil in the pan as you can. While your oil is still hot, start grabbing your zucchini slices and lay them out, but don't crowd them too much. We really want them to cook evenly, and we don't want them to break apart if possible. So let's see what I can fit into here. Now I'm going to sprinkle a touch of salt and pepper on these just to season them. Just a little tiny bit. It really adds extra flavor. Remember, season as you go sometimes. So I'm just going to let these brown on each side. I'm going to grab a fork and stick the fork through them after they've browned a little bit and see if they're really tender. But we don't want them to really fall apart. We want to keep them in pretty good shape and pretty firm. You have a little bit of that onion on there, and that's no problem. While my zucchini is cooking, I may as well grate my pecorino romano cheese. This is a sheep's milk cheese, and I always love to see that the origin is Italy. Sometimes they'll make an Italian cheese in this country, and they'll make a pecorino romano out of cow's milk cheese, but it truly should be out of a sheep's milk cheese. I'm going to use a box grater, my favorite thing, other than a microplane. We're going to use this side of the box grater, and I really believe in grating my cheese as I go. It gives it a really nice fresh flavor. I'm going to grate about 3 or 4 tablespoons of this. You could add a little bit more too. So this is plenty, more than enough, I think. And like I said, if there's leftover, save it for pasta or whatever. So let's take a peek at the zucchini on the other side. It's starting to soften up. It's got a little bit of brown, and this is, making me happy. I've got a fork here, and it's just going through. It's pretty tender. Look at the color on that. So out this comes, and here we go with more zucchini in the pan. So make sure that when you have a tomato sauce or tomato puree to add to any of your Italian dishes, that you're using something really good. I'm using this brand. I've just found it somewhere, but it's not a particular brand that I use all the time. But I want to make sure the quality is really good. Try and find something that's either packed in California, their tomatoes are wonderful, or in Italy. This is a passata, and that means it's a tomato puree. You can add crushed tomatoes to this recipe. That's all up to you. So while our last batch of zucchini is finishing up sauteing, let's start making the topping. We still have to cook the zucchini in some tomato sauce, so we're not done yet, but you can certainly make this topping just a little bit ahead. So I'm going to crack 3 eggs in a small bowl. These are large eggs. You could use extra large too. So let's make sure that the eggs are really well scrambled. So now it's time to add about 3 tablespoons of our pecorino romano cheese to the egg mixture. And you see I'm just using a regular tablespoon. I don't even need a measuring spoon. I'm just going to add just a little tiny bit more. Now I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper in here. I'm not going to put salt because pecorino is very salty naturally, but a little black pepper will be heaven in this. So let's stir this in, and we're going to put this aside. I'm adding 1 more egg to my egg and pecorino topping because I really think this won't cover the surface. So let me get that egg really beaten well in there, and then we can throw about another tablespoon of our pecorino cheese in here. This last layer of zucchini is all done, and now I'm going to throw my onion into the pan. We're going to start putting our zucchini in here, and then we're going to add our tomato sauce and let this simmer for about 10 minutes. It might be a little challenging, but it doesn't take much. You just kind of have to leave it alone. So just throw in your passata or your puree, your crushed tomatoes, zucchini into the pan. Put this, and we're going to put the cover on this and let it just simmer for about 10. Let's get a lid on it. And I have it at its lowest setting too. I don't want this to cook too fiercely. I really want to make sure it's gently cooking. And it's time to get our casserole assembled. I'm going to sprinkle my basil, my fresh basil, right into this zucchini and sauce. It's really too delicate for me to toss this around. So I'm just gonna move it around a little bit so I get some of this zucchini into the sauce. So let's start layering it. I'm just going to put some pieces on the bottom, much like a lasagna or an eggplant parm, I would say. And we're not putting our topping on till the very top. So I definitely want to stir this up a little bit. And what I would do is dollop it, because if I pour this on, it's going to be very inconsistent. It will be a little bit anyway, and I don't want it to start cooking right away. So just get this poured on top. I know it doesn't look too pretty, but it's going to set really nicely. So now we're ready to put this right in our preheated oven and bake this for about 15 to 20 minutes until the egg and the pecorino are set. I like to put things on a cookie sheet just in case I have to lift them out too, so I'm going to place this on a cookie sheet and get this in our oven. So here's our beautiful zucchini casserole coming straight out of the oven. You can see that that egg pecorino mixture has set. Oh, there's my timer. I did put this on for about another 8 or 9 minutes, depends on your oven. It really set it up nice, and you can see it's light golden brown around the edges. Now I have to let this really cool down, and we'll give it a taste in a little while. So it's time to cut our beautiful baked zucchini casserole. I've let this sit for about 10 or 12 minutes. You could even go a little bit longer than that. Let's see how well I do with cutting this. This may be a little bit sloppy coming out. There we go. This is a little bit like a moussaka in a sense, where it's got that eggy top that's got a little bit of cheese in it. So let's try this. So here's the taste test. You'll definitely need a knife and a fork for this. So here goes. This is so delicious. That fried zucchini is just perfect. It's not too mushy, it's firm enough, and I get that wonderful flavor of the pecorino egg topping. Thanks again for watching another video of mine. Hope to see you again soon for another great Italian recipe. Don't forget, I'm on Facebook at My Italian Kitchen by Chef Diane Mantica, and also on Instagram.